Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for coming. Pastor Lee asked me to preach or give a sermon, and I wanted to give a sermon about grace, because this year, 2022, is about abundant grace.
Amen.
This little bit about my childhood and coming into the church, learning about the Lord at an early age. How many of you know what grace is?
American favor.
What is grace?
American favor.
Grace is a gift given to us by God. Some people do not get the concept of grace. Well, let me tell you, I learned about grace in my early childhood. What grace is, and still is today. I remember sitting at the dinner table and my grandmother telling me to say my grace, to bless my dinner before I ate it. After she told me to get my elbows off the table and sit up straight. Me just being me, being inquisitive, I asked her, why do we have to say grace before we ate? She shook her head and she said, because God gave us the food to eat, and you should thank Him for the blessings for your meal. I never questioned her again about it. So that was a lesson, my first lesson of grace, and why we should thank the Lord. As I got older, I come to realize what she was talking about. God's grace had saved me on many occasions. I remember standing on the porch, and the cops pulled up to my house. They asked for Casey. I said, he's not here, I haven't seen him. Then lo and behold, my grandmother comes out of the house. She said, Casey, what are the cops doing here? Thank you, Grandma. The officer looked and said, oh, you're Casey. I looked at my grandmother as he arrested me. She always told me what happens in the dark comes to the light.
That's right.
I and my brother were both arrested and looking at a good amount of time. When I looked back, I knew my grandmother's heart was broke, which broke mine. She was always preaching at us, always told us to count our blessings from God, that tomorrow is a promise to us. By the grace of God and my grandmother being a prayer warrior, we received probation.
Amen.
This woke me up. I knew a divine intervention had happened over my life by the grace of God. You see, God has grace over your life. Some people accept it and some don't. Again, my grandmother always told me there's going to be many forks in the road. It's up to me to choose what road to take, the high road or the low road. It took me many times going down the wrong road to find the right road and to finally accept God's grace and follow the path that He put before me. The Bible tells us God is always there at the door waiting on us to knock. It's up to us to knock and go through that door.
That's right.
But once you do, you will find out that my God's grace is so beautiful. There's nothing like it. It's like that feeling you get when one of your parents gives you a hug and tells you they love you, or hugging your own child. A feeling you just can't explain, just something you need, something that feels right. Now that I'm older, with my own family, I try to instill those words of grace into my kids. The treasures of being blessed with a Christian upbringing. Today, I wouldn't know where I would be if it wasn't for the grace of God and the many prayers for my grandmother and my family members and my mom. And my walk with the Lord and giving Him praise every day. I'm not saying I'm not perfect, by no means. But we all get off that path. But it's up to us to get back on that path and repent. God never forsakes us. That's why He gave His life for you and for me.
Amen.
And that is what grace is to me. God bless you. God bless this church family. And God bless my brothers and sisters around the world. Thank you.
Amen.